A good Thursday morning to you. Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This weather video driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota Twin City Subaru and 802 Honda, all located off of exit 7 on Interstate 89. Well, we have the first indications of a surface low here that's crossing a little bit south of Buffalo, and it's moving already in the vicinity of Rochester and just north of the Finger Lakes. This is going to take a track toward the northwest corner of the state into the Champlain Valley. Just about that time, however, a secondary low pressure system is going to be developing west of Boston. It's going to pull out near Gloucester, go into the Gulf of Maine, and then head northbound, taking most of this entire weather system with it, all except for the northern tier regions being affected later overnight tonight, and improving conditions down across parts of southern Vermont. However, there'll be that circulation with a very strong blustery northwesterly wind carrying through the day tomorrow, Friday. Here's the large-scale overview. So we have rain that moves in this morning. It'll begin to fall moderate at times as we head toward the midday or so, and then we'll start to pick up a little bit of wet snow in the Northeast Kingdom, mostly on elevated terrain. And then this is valid by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so things are just going to start a little bit earlier in the afternoon in terms of wet snow falling in some parts of the Northeast Kingdom. As we get into between approximately 2 o'clock and 5 p.m., you can see we have things changed over to snow. Probably some rain mixed on valley floors, but certainly rain will continue west of the spine of the Green Mountains without any kind of an issue. The main issue for snow loading is going to be in this particular area, really east of the Green Mountains across the Northeast Kingdom, and with Essex County primarily under the gun, as this area of low pressure will be kind of in play. We'll run the model. You can see it's now deep into 975 hectopascals. That ain't no chopped liver right there. That's a pretty strong, intense area of low pressure, becoming the primary low. And then it basically heads slowly to the north and east, and then through New Brunswick and up into Canada. All the while here with this elongated trough that's back here, that's going to kind of dip back down. So the net effect is snow continues to accrue across the northern one-third of Vermont, and even down, it looks like, into the Champlain Valley a little bit. Most of the main action, however, and certainly threats and thresholds exceeded for any kind of wet snow loading is really going to be in the northern tier, and especially Essex County, Northeast Kingdom. You can see that snow showers, this is valid about 5 p.m. on Friday. They begin to taper off and scatter out, and we're pretty much finished up once we get into the evening hours of darkness. The other bit of information here I want to give you is that when we get into this sort of back end of the storm here, as it begins to swing in, this is going to be a lot more fluffier type snowfall, a lot more moderate dendritic density, and we're not looking at wet snow, but more of a situation where it's just going to be regular old-fashioned snowfall. So our main issue is going to be the front part of the storm here for wet snow loading, and then gradually over time temperatures aloft are going to fall, and it looks like we'll be pulling out of that particular situation. Let's take a look at the latest wind. Latest winds look like really not too strong. Really this morning things will start to ramp up a bit. A little bit of gusts across, again, parts of Bennington County, mainly towards southern Greens. And then as we get later in the day, this is valid about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's 4, 5. We start to see some gusts a little bit more. Everything's shifted just a little bit to the south. It's reducing some of the wind speeds that I'm seeing. This is fairly late in the day. This is valid at 5 p.m. For the southern counties of Vermont. And you can see that into the southern Greens at that point in time. This is 6 o'clock, 7, 8. Really kind of marginal, kind of falling back, ramping down a little bit. We get into 9, 10 o'clock, 11, and finally midnight. And things are not looking quite as bad as they were in terms of the wind department. Wet snow loading might be a little bit more of a concern than our wind issues for southern parts of Vermont. Looking at the HRRR model, we can see the rain that moves in here. This is valid by 11 o'clock this morning. That rain comes down moderate, maybe even locally heavy at times. Begins to mix with a little bit of snow. We're starting to see that detected. Pretty good rainfall continues into the afternoon. A little bit of a break or let up, and we start to see where the snow is really coming on down to our north and east. This starts to fill in across the Northeast Kingdom. There's Essex County mostly being affected. But notice it's a little more spotty, a little bit more showery once we get into this evening. Not all models are in agreement on that, but it does look like the trend is that things lighten up, and southern Vermont has really no issues to worry about at all. Let's look at the wind. I'm going to pick up the wind here as the wind begins to ramp up across parts of southern Vermont. This is about 11 o'clock. The HRRR is picking up a little more intense wind as the European was, and then it kind of flares up and down. It's going to be very pulsy, and certain parts of the afternoon are not going to see a whole lot going on as it looks. Things kind of shift a little bit. This is associated again with that area of low pressure. That's the dynamics of the secondary low is in the process of developing. I would ignore this part right here, however, at this point, but it's really going to be the southern Green Mountains. And you can see a little bit of a flare-up as we approach the midnight hour down in the southern Green. So a little bit less in terms of the intensity of the wind gusts is notable, and probably a little bit more of a situation where we could see some wet snow loading, especially that northeast corner of the Northeast Kingdom. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights, thanks for watching.